Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harry Muppet. Welcome back to another Starcraft 2 Daily Masters. Got an awesome game for you guys today. It's actually going to be a PvP. We haven't done one of those in a while. We haven't done a mirror match of any type, maybe a TVT recently, but we do have a PvP for you today. And let's introduce the players. So down the bottom right side of the map, it is going to be StarDust. He is 23 years old from South Korea. Plays for the My Insanity team with the cool looking little My Insanity logo there. I'm almost certain that's a Starcraft 2 thing. I've never gotten around to casting a game out of my own server, but whatever. Let's move on to the other team. It is going to be, or the other player, sorry, it's going to be San, who's an exceptionally good player that we simply have not cast for such a long time. So it's going to be very exciting to see how he goes. He's 23 years of age, from South Korea, plays for the Yo Flash Wolves team. And are they both the same age? Yes, pretty much. In fact, their birthdays are like 13 days apart, according to this. So, you know, quite exceptional. Quite, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but yeah, pretty awesome stuff. So let's get stuck into it. And they're pretty much doing exactly the same thing at the moment. Early Zealot, going for the double gas. Potentially going to be going for Stargates. It looks like both of them I'd expect to go for Stargates. Maybe an early Mothership core, but yeah, my guess would be Stargates. So, sorry about that. We do have a Stargate coming down from both players. And yes, probably with StarDust, with the early scout, is going to be seeing the Stargate right there. And unfortunately, Mr. San is nowhere near being able to scout. So, actually cancelling the Stargate right there, going for a Twilight Council instead. So very nice play, actually using the scan against StarDust, and going to be going for, I don't know, some sort of DT rush or Blink Stalker mass harass or something like that. It's got to be something fast. You can't just go for a Twilight Council and then sit on it for ages. You got to do something pretty fast with it if you're going to be switching changes like that. So yeah, we'll see how it happens. We got a single Phoenix coming out for Mr. StarDust. He's still going pretty standard, but he's got to be worried about this Twilight Council. He has no idea that that's coming, and this Phoenix may just be for actual anti-air defense for dealing with whatever Stargate tech comes out of Sand. So we do have Dark Shrine coming out, and this little guy over here, this probe, is probably going to be thinking about a good place to build a pylon where it's not going to be seen, so we can start warping in the DTs. So around this area, probably a pretty good area, maybe right on the top of this ramp, not a bad idea. Choosing to build it down there should be fine. The probe's going to be going around, maybe going for a scout. It would not be a bad idea to actually go for a scout. Oh, did he see it? I think he may have. Yes, he did. Mr. StarDust did see that with his Phoenix flying overboard, and now he's going to go in for the scan for the Phoenix, and I don't think there's any chance of San actually stopping the full scout happening here. We do see the Dark Shrine. We do see the robotics facility, so instantly StarDust knows, well, something crazy just happened. So the robotics facility actually being cancelled is going to put a gateway there. And StarDust, man, he's got to know there's Dark Templars on the way. He's getting an Oracle out. And my guess would be this is going to be a defensive Oracle, just for the purpose of using that skill. I can't remember what the skill's called, but it grants vision to other units. So you can cast it on pretty much anything else, and it can suddenly detect invisible units. So let's have a look. What's this called? Envision allows the Oracle to detect cloaked, burrowed, and hallucinated units for 60 seconds. So I definitely think that guy. Where is that Oracle? Where is that Oracle? Don't make a fool out of me, StarDust. I said this was going to be a defensive Oracle. Where is the damn thing? Alright, it's right there. Along with 2 Stalkers. So yeah, no DTs are going to get through. It's going to put a Zealot down here. He may warp something in to defend this, but given that StarDust knows about the DTs, I guess San is a little bit reluctant to be going for any sort of actual DTs on the field, because he knows that StarDust knows how to deal with them. So instead, he's going to be pushing out for a bunch of Blink Stalkers. Going to be seeing how that goes. Warped in 3 Stalkers of his own over here, and that's going to be able to keep the pylon alive for a little bit longer. The Phoenix also getting chased away by a bunch of Stalkers here. So Blink coming up, and Sand is definitely getting a ton of Stalkers out. Looks like he really wants to just go for Blink Stalkers, and yeah, with Blink out early on the field, and there's no possibility of StarDust getting Blink anytime soon, so yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, these Phoenix, how much have they really done? Have they really paid for themselves? Because we got 1 kill here, 0 kills, 2 kills, so not really that much, and against Stalkers, they're pretty much useless, so they're going to have to get some sweet worker kills to actually pay for themselves, because yeah, I don't know, unless he starts pumping out Void Rays soon, or he starts getting some nice worker kills, the Phoenix are not going to be able to do anything, and the Stargate is pretty much just a complete waste at the moment. It's a waste for the rest of the game. I wouldn't say it's been a waste so far, because he's got some very sweet scouting out by the Phoenix, but then again, I mean, you can hallucinate a Phoenix and get the same amount of scouting, so yeah, I don't know. Those Phoenix, man, the Stargate is kind of seeming like it isn't really pulling its weight at the moment, but a couple of Void Rays against Blink Stalkers will definitely change that, because Void Rays are going to do an incredible amount of damage to the Stalkers, and Blink it helps them a little bit, but not too much. It does look like, however, StarDust is going to be going for a bunch of Immortals, and this is a very effective counter towards the Blink Stalkers. So yeah, should be fine. Looks like Sand is also going for a bunch of Immortals as well, just extenuating his army. He's not going to be stupid enough to just go for pure Stalkers. That just not a good idea. I mean, maybe it's a good idea in Bronze League, but in Masters level, you know your opponent is going to get Immortals or Colossus or whatever, so it's a pretty bad idea. And let's have a look at the economy actually. Sand doing a pretty good job. 43 over 41. He was 44. I guess he lost something at some point. But anyway, the Phoenix still going around here. What the hell is this? Just an observer. Hallucinating Phoenix coming around for a scout. Both players going for the Colossus right now. And, oh, nice, sort of, but he did end up losing 1 Phoenix. So, definitely not good. Both players with level 1 upgrades just about to finish. So, we're about the same on that sort of scale. I would say that Sand probably has a bit more tech. He's got the Twilight Council, the Dark Shrine. And he must have cancelled that at the last second, the very last second. I thought he was going to let it go up, but must have cancelled it. I guess that's why we didn't see any DTs at any point, because Dark Shrine never made it out. So, pretty good stuff. StarDust is going to have a slight jump on the Colossus tech, very slight, but he's behind in the Stalker numbers by a little bit. They're both evened out on the workers. Looks like StarDust is pushing out his worker numbers a little bit harder. Maybe no, Sand's still building a ton of them, so I don't know. It's going to be the next thing, which is going to be building a third base. Who's going to build the third base first? Are they going to go for the safe route, which is behind their main base? Are they going to stretch out right in front for the sort of central thing? Are they going to go off to the side, try and sneak one in there? It looks like Sand was going for the sneaky one on the side, and StarDust is just like, oh man, that Phoenix is having so much fun right there. Just up and down, and I think it's finally going to build the Nexus, but I don't know if that's a good idea anymore, because obviously StarDust is going to realize that that is there, so maybe not the best of ideas. And who's going for it? It looks like Sand going for the Templar Archives, StarDust going for one as well, most likely going to be for a bunch of Archons, because yeah, High Templar, nah, not all that effective. Storms are effective-ish, but not super effective. Not for the cost. So it'll probably be Archons just to sort of tank a lot of damage, allow the Colossus to get in there and really do a lot of stuff. And I do think that StarDust is really pulling ahead on the Colossus numbers. He's got 3 already, whereas Sand is... What's Sand doing? Oh, Sand has almost got 3. He's just building a third one. So great job. They're all over the place, but they're sort of close to each other. So we've got Colossus range done for Sand, not quite for StarDust. We've got Zealot legs, which is done for Sand, not quite for StarDust, but StarDust does have, and actually he's just catching up on the weapons. So Sand does have a bit more upgrades on everything. And yes, here we go. StarDust not going to be defending this, just going to let it go down. And will Sand go for some sort of engagement in here? He's going on the high ground. but StarDust is actually leaving that high ground advantage behind, pulling back to his natural expansion, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good move or not. I don't know if he should have stayed out there and held on to the high ground advantage, but he has given it up right now. Hallucinated Colossus in there, that's always going to be annoying, but I'm sure StarDust has some sort of observer somewhere. And here he goes, moving in. The Colossus getting a little bit too far forward. I don't think he's got enough Archons. I don't think either player really has many Archons. Sand's got a couple, and a whole bunch of Zealots as well, but both players doing a pretty good job. Time warps everywhere, slowing down StarDust's defense, but in the end, Sand is pulling back a little bit, regrouping a little bit, sending the Hallucinated Colossus out, and yeah, that thing does get the crap smelted out of it. I don't know why he sent that forward, actually, because it's basically just saying, yep, this is a hallucination, go ahead and kill it. And that's not something you really want to tell your opponent. You don't want to tell them you're using hallucinations, because then they're going to be, oh right, they're going to be like, okay, I need to get an observer out here just in case he does that again. So here we go, moving on in, and StarDust not with the best defensive sort of play. His Zealots are kind of trapped underneath. They're not really getting out there in a nice barrier, but the Colossus numbers for StarDust are starting to get a little bit ridiculous. He's currently got 5 there, whereas Sand only has 3, and that is definitely making a huge impact right there. He's actually blinking up here, going to go for some damage, going to take out some pylons. And StarDust, has he got enough ground units to really make this stick? He may have, although his ground units are going down so fast, it's not even funny. He's finally taken out all the Archons from Sand, but he's having to back up the Colossus a little bit. One Immortal almost took out a Colossus. There we go, the Colossus does go down, and the rest of the forces, though, are going to get run away. Meanwhile, a bunch of Stalkers in here, not really being taken care of by StarDust. He's got bigger things to worry about at the moment, but I imagine some Zealots or Stalkers are going to be coming down there ASAP. There's some Zealots taking them out, and the Colossus army does manage to survive, but StarDust really needs to get a lot of ground units to deal with them. I mean, Archons would be great. He's getting an Archon coming out here pretty soon, but yeah, even Zealots and Stalkers, if you can get a ton of those, he will be in a very good position. We've got him 31 under 46, actually. Lost quite a bit of workers there. I'm guessing the Stalkers just took out a ton over there, and both players, neither one having a third base. Going to be that much harder to keep the battle going with losing so many workers early in the game. So here we go. The Zealots really are just being shredded here. And they're doing good at protecting their own Colossus, but against 5 Colossus, there's only 4 Colossus now. It's really not working out too well. And both players have lost so many forces right now, and their economy is just not in a good stage. I mean, StarDust, fair enough, he's lost a lot of workers, but at the same time, Sand doesn't have a third base. His main base is out of minerals, so his economy is not looking spectacular either. He desperately needs a third base if he wants to keep going. And you can see his income is not that much higher than StarDust, so the worker numbers don't really matter because neither player has a third base. They're basically both working off just one base at the moment, with the main base basically being starved out. So it's going to come down to a third base, and I am extremely surprised that Sand did not go for a third base at all during that engagement. I mean, he had it was a beautiful strategy to go for a third base. He must just have been throwing every single spare mineral at StarDust at that point, but now is the point where he's sort of fallen back and he's got a bit of room, and you can see that StarDust is not pushing out after him straight away. So now is the time to get a third base and try and hold on to it. And I mean, that could be said for both players. Probably StarDust needs to build up his forces a little bit. He's got to be a little bit cautious about how close he came to really dying just now. He was right up against his base. He lost a lot of workers, so he's got to build up forces so he can defend, but at the same time his economy is in a very dodgy state as well, so he needs a third base. Both players need a third base right now, otherwise it's going to be Starvation City for both of them. And StarDust actually pushing out here with a bunch of forces, so it looks like he just wants to have a go. He feels like his Colossus army is going to be good. He's got 3 weapons. Sand only has 2. Sand not spending on the not being able to afford the level 3 upgrades. And look at this, StarDust going straight for the third base. He's like, alright, I gotta take out this third base wherever it is. not seeing it. And, oh, long distance mining. This is not what we want to see in this game. That neither player really looking like they want to go for the long-term game. I mean, they look like they're both expecting a massive attack to be coming at any second. Neither player wants to sit back and macro, and I think the reason is neither player assumes the other player is going to sit back and macro. Both players are like, oh crap, he's coming for me. I don't know when, but he's coming for me in the next minute or two, and I got to deal with it. And I suppose with Sand's point of view, it is a very valid thing that's happening right here. He is definitely, I mean, he sees StarDust army all over the map. He knows that he's coming. StarDust, I don't understand why he's not going for an expansion. He really needs to. Maybe he was, but there's a Zealot there blocking it, but definitely he needs to go for it. He goes for 3 Zealots instead. Needs to get that Nexus down. And it's basically a reverse of about 5 minutes ago. I mean, when Sand had control, he could have gone for a third. He didn't. He's thinking about it now, though. There he goes. There's going to be the third base going down there. StarDust, he's pushing out. He's got a lot of map control. I would say that getting a third base is very, very important for him right now. Extremely important. Extremely important for both players. Sand is finally got one, and that's going to be good for him. Even sending out a probe here. I don't know if he's planning on building a fourth. Probably not, but here we go. StarDust, does he have any idea that the third has gone down? I do not know, but that's something he definitely needs to scout ASAP. Super ASAP, man. It's very, very important to see that. But he's just building up his army right now. He's 146 over 143. Whatever, it's close enough. But I think that difference is just workers. So in terms of the army size, they're both pretty much the same. 5 versus 7. Sand is actually really bulked up on the Colossus numbers. Unfortunately for him, level 3 weapons is out of his reach at the moment. It's going to take a lot of minerals and gas to research it. And then it's going to take a lot of time. StarDust already has it researched, but with the 2 Colossus advantage that Sand has over him, that might be quite a bit. And we finally have a third base coming down for StarDust. I gotta tell you, that took forever to get out. I know he's building up forces, man, but just damn, that just took forever. He's been mining off one base this entire time. This base is starting to run out of minerals. This is desperation time. He really should have got the one ages ago, but whatever. Here he goes, actually thinking about sniping some stuff on the high ground. Decides not to. He's going to go up. If he can snipe this base, it's going to be huge. And then snipe it and pull out. That's it, StarDust. Just take the base out, then get the hell out of there. Beautiful play. Beautiful play. Oh, but look at this. Sand is going to be cutting off. Mothership warp. Back to your base. Mothership warp out of there. Get your army out of there. Go on. Get out of there. Do not engage. Actually, he's got a nice thing here. But with 7 Colossus, his only way out, I gotta say, Mothership Core out of there, man. That's what I would do, but he's choosing to go for it. He thinks he's got an advantage here. I don't know if he does, but regardless of whether he does or not, it's not... Oh, man, the Mothership Core goes down. We got 7 Colossus here. We've only got 4. The Colossus are going to start going down. StarDust is going to be going down. His 4 Colossus managed to get saved, and I think that's basically the only army unit left. And this base went down? Man, did he cancel that? I will have to go back. 27-minute mark. We're going to go back. We're going to see what happened to that third base. But, man, I do not agree at all with StarDust's decision to not warp out his forces after taking that Nexus out. You snipe the Nexus, Mothership Core warp your units back here, defend your third base. You're in a beautiful position. You got a third. Your opponent does it, and as long as you hold on to that third base, you are sweet. But he chose to get out there. Maybe he thought he could actually take out the army. Maybe he thought he was in a better position with that choke point. But maybe he just underestimated the sheer amount of Colossi that Sand had actually produced. I definitely think he underestimated the Colossus army that Sand had produced. He probably thought he had the Colossus numbers, and the small, narrow gap was going to favour him. But it turned out that Sand had way more Colossus. And in the end, it just all fell over. So here we go. Sand going around, being very proactive, taking out a lot of stuff, and StarDust giving the GG. So a bit unfortunate there. I definitely think both players... I mean, I gotta say, and I understand there are reasons for it, but if you have not built a third base by the 20-minute mark, then you are doing something wrong. I mean, it's got to be as simple as that. It's really got to be. So let's have a look there. It's 26-minute mark. Alright, what do we got going on here? We have a probe. I don't think the probe destroys the Nexus. Here he goes, moving in here. He's having an engagement here. He cancelled it to build some zealots, man. He cancelled it to build some zealots. And those zealots, I don't know where they are, but then I can't see them anywhere. No, I think they died already. Or who knows? Who knows? Maybe he set them in Colossus. But then again, I guess after losing that game, he decided it was all or nothing, and he just, yeah, I don't know. I really, look, this is it right here. He really should have wolfed out there because, I mean, fair enough, you try and run out, but when he saw the Colossus all over there, he should have warped out. There should have been some extenuating circumstances, like the mothership core was out of energy from time warping too much, blah, 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 and it didn't have enough energy, but then again, in that case, I would have said, you know, save some energy, because this is a flanking nightmare out here. Look at this ramp. You could totally get flanked so badly, it's not even funny. So, bit of a mistake on StarDust part, and did cost him the game from that beautiful, beautiful flank that Sand pulled off. So anyway, this has been Hairy Muppet. I hope you enjoyed this game, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow with another one. So, stay tuned for that. This has been Hairy Muppet. I hope you enjoyed this game.